Hi everybody, Sanbalana. Welcome to Reality Buzz TV, where we talk about all things reality TV shows and all things reality TV show stars. And today, you guys, we're going to do the full review of episode 5 of the Bala family. Okay, we did have a conversation a few hours ago talking about the trailer. You guys, now we're watching the episode, things are becoming clear. Okay, let me say this, you guys. Clearly, Upelo is very sober this season. He is very sober, and I like seeing him this season. I like hearing from him. I would like to hear more from Upelo because I feel like he doesn't trust himself when he is around his siblings. Okay, I also have older siblings, and sometimes you just feel like, they're not gonna take me seriously. So I wish he would speak up more, but I love Opero looking sober. Okay, maybe he's drinking outside of the show. It's okay, but it's nice to see him participate, and he's looking like he hasn't been drinking or taking something that we don't know the name of. Okay, so I like that, you guys. Two, with Zwei, I feel like Uzwai is involved in the production of the show. So I kind of feel like Uzwai has a vision as to how the show is supposed to go. But whatever his vision is, it doesn't include him sharing what's going on with him. So every time that they are asking him about something that's going on with him, he deflects. Or he'd be like, I don't know why you're asking about that. Apparently, he has a baby that the family was not told about, but every time that Loiso wants to ask him about that, he doesn't want to talk about it. But he takes every opportunity that comes to talk about Loiso's marriage. You know, how Loiso is not able to make any decision without Jen. So he doesn't want to, akafuna ukukhuluma ngaye, what's going on with him. So I don't know what's happening there. Like, he contradicts himself. He'd be like, you know what, I want people to, explain to me what is the meaning of family. But what is the meaning of family to Zwei if Zwei is having a baby, but the family members don't even know that he's having a baby? Okay, so I don't know. I'm not understanding him. And then Upinki, guys, I loved Upinki of first season. Okay, but I had an issue with the relationship with Jen. I just wasn't understanding. Sometimes I would feel like it's almost an obsession with Jen. So, but this season, you guys, I'm struggling to like Upinki, okay? And I do understand her struggle, you guys. She did raise her siblings, which she shouldn't have done because it's her siblings. These were not these were not her kids, okay? It was her siblings. Her mama should have raised those kids. So I understand the struggle that she's having to be like, why was I given all of these responsibilities? But you guys, I feel like whatever it is that she's looking for from her mother, she's not getting. So I kind of feel like maybe they need to go back to therapy with her mother because her mother is not getting her. Her mother is like, really, like, am I going to be in court with Pinky for the rest of my life? I mean, really now? Because every time that they're together, she's not able to just relax with her mom and have some fun. The drive that we watched in this episode, they should have been having fun. They should have been playing music, making jokes, having childhood memories. Okay, maybe it's not a good thing to talk about the childhood because it's a trigger, but they are not able to do that because there's this thing that Pinky is looking for when it comes to her relationship with her mom that she's not getting, and she's not gonna get because her mom doesn't even know what Pinky needs. So I feel like they need to go see a professional, both of them. Okay, it can be part of the show. We're willing to watch. In fact, we're ready to watch. Okay, we're ready to watch and learn because every time you watch someone else, there's always something that you can, use from their story. Now, you guys, we finally do see Ujen no Loiso, you guys. And listen, I'm liking Ujen more and more. Okay, even though I still don't understand what the issue is with the pink. I feel like even her, she's confused about what the issue is with the pink. So Jen and Lois are taking a walk by the beach because obviously Lois has to update Jen about the conversation they had with his sibling. Okay, I do wonder, you guys, do they hold back in having the conversation with your part? Like, for an example, Loiso went to a meeting with his siblings and it's been some time before they go to for a walk at the beach. So I'm just wondering, Do they do it like, okay, I'm not going to talk to Jen about this issue because we are going to shoot a scene and then I'll talk about it then? Because I'm just thinking it would feel weird if they have to have that conversation again, which they've had off camera. But I'm also thinking it must be difficult to just be like, okay, I'm waiting for Wednesday to talk to you about this issue, especially when it's a burning issue. So they finally talk about it, and Lois is explaining. So he thought that if they find a house for his mama, it would be around maybe, he said, I think 1.2 million. So this thing you guys made help me to understand what Loiso is not against the idea of buying a house for his mama. He just doesn't want it to be a fancy house and an expensive house to a point where it might prevent him from being able to buy his own house for his own family. I still think that Loiso should prioritize himself and his family first, because his mother is not homeless. His mother is not on the streets. They can even, plaster the house again, paint the house again, change the roof, put in new furniture, and their mom would be happy because she hasn't been complaining about that house. So I still feel like he should be prioritizing his family, but he is saying that he is not against buying the house. He just thinks the house that Zwei and Pinky wants, it's a little bit too expensive for what he was thinking about, okay? Also, he's worried about whether the others will be able to keep up with the commitment of making these payments that they have committed to. So now, Jen, her response was, I thought it was sweet, you guys, because her initial response was, listen, it would be very nice for your mother to own her beautiful little house that is all paid up. But the practicalities of how the money is supposed to come together, because 650,000 rent is not small money, okay? I feel like Jen and Lois are more practical because they're like, okay, fine, mom might need a house, but is everybody going to be able to afford the payments? Okay, more especially Upelo. I like how Lois is always concerned about Upelo. He's like, even when they were performing as the Bala brothers, they never made so much that all of them could be able to provide to pay the 650,000 each, especially Upelo. Okay, so now what is going to happen, And I like that Uchen was like, listen, then you guys need to have a plan in place to say, if a person doesn't make payment, what happens? Who picks up that installment if they don't make payment? What happens to that? Like, have a plan to say, if the person just decide one day they don't want to be part of this whole thing, what's going to happen? If they miss a month or two in the payments, what happens? Okay, so there was a conversation. Okay. And I feel like, you guys, that it's difficult for Jen, because whatever decision that Uloiso is going to make, if the decision is not the decision that Upinki knows why wants to hear from Uloiso, they're going to say that it's Jen's decision, even though it's Loiso, Well, it is both their decision. They're married anyway, because Loiso can't make such a big financial commitment without Jen buying into the idea. So I feel like they're just going to think, Jenny going to phone. But I feel like even Loiso can see, this is like, a lot of money. But I like the fact that he's still saying, listen, it's not like I don't want to do it. I just want it for a lesser amount. Why? The fancy house, okay? So listen, you guys, then this one is interesting, because Uzwai and Pinky, they're having a conversation, okay? That whole thing we saw on the clip, trailer, where they are saying, listen, this is umuzika Arthur lo abafuna ukwakha. I think Arthur is Mr. Bala, Mr. Swai, Mr. Bala bafuna ukwakha umuzika baba wabo, which is a thing as well that they need to clarify with the other siblings, okay? Because if umuzo wakabala, of course, Loyiso is still his home too, but what about Pelo? What about the mom that is married to the Jafta family? Nobody wants to talk about that, okay? Because it accommodates, the decision to buy a house accommodates Uzwai Pinky. That's it. Okay, let's move on ahead. Now, you guys, here is the thing. Now, when Pinky and Zwei are discussing, they talk about how they've already viewed the house, and the offer to purchase was sent on their WhatsApp group, and Uzwai took liberty to sign the offer to purchase, because he says he's going to try and get the house in his name so that everybody can see that they're not just putting this on lawyers. Number one, I could breathe, okay? Because I've been worried about lawyers. I was like, they're going to force lawyers to get into this debt of 2.6 million rands, okay? So apparently Zwei signed the offer to purchase, but the other siblings don't know. So the offer to purchase was put on the WhatsApp group, but there wasn't a discussion to say, are we signing it? Who's going to sign it? So Zwei just took it upon himself to sign it and send it. So now I'm like, okay, is he going to be the one now that is going to do what they were asking Loyiso to do, which is take the bond so that the others can pay him? Even that is a problem, you guys, because Loyiso is still thinking about the conversation they had about the 2.6 million rand, and he's coming to a decision that even if they buy the house, it can't be for 2.6 million rand. Zwei has already gone and signed the offer to purchase. So if he gets the house, he is basically committing the other siblings to pay the amount, even though they haven't signed anything. Because now, if he gets the 2.6 million rand, it means that they have to pay the 650,000 rands each. Now I'm wondering, where is Pinky gonna get the 650,000 rands? So now that's what's happening. But I was like, but at least now he is the one that has taken the debt. But the thing is, now if Loyiso says, no, Mina, I'm not gonna pay this much installment because I had said that I prefer for us to get something that is of a lesser value, then they're going to have a problem with that, because then he's going to be the one that is not going to pay the full amount. Because what if with Jen they decide, no, we can't afford that because we never wanted to get the 2.6 million rand house. I don't even understand why somebody in the comment section said that, you know what, they could renovate that house. They can even make it into a double story. Guys, we've seen nice houses in Malokshin. Even in Makaya, we've seen really nice houses. We are working, when you finish building, you don't owe anyone, but you have a beautiful house, So I'm just wondering, it's so unnecessary for them to do it. From the perspective, to spook. Maybe we are not understanding it fully, guys, but I've been trying to think about it. I'm like, I don't understand why this fancy house, okay? Unless they can just say, the house belongs to Zwei and Pinky is going to live there because Pinky needs a place to stay, okay? Now, you guys, the nice thing about this episode was that we got to see them work together, because last season, the whole season, it was a conversation about the Bala brothers coming back together, honey, but we never saw it, okay? I do think, you guys, like Zoe always says, that it's an opportunity for them to make money together as the Bala brothers. But I can also imagine that it's a difficult thing to work with your siblings, okay? I'm glad to be at my own house, and I'm happy to see my sibling twice or 3 times a year. They must not watch this video, okay? But sometimes it's like, hey, I am happy that my siblings stay at their own houses, and then we just speak over the phone, over the WhatsApp group, okay? And then now and then when it's really, really important for us to be together, we can be together. Now, if you're going to be working together, like imagine having to work with your siblings. So sometimes you just don't want to see them, okay? But it is an opportunity for them to make money, obviously. And also, like, since they have these projects that they're going to take on, they need more money, okay? So now they've got a gig somewhere in Bloemfontein, and they're going to be performing. So they travel there together, the 3 of them. I do wonder, you guys, that when they formed this group, what was the reason that they decided to do the Bala brothers? Because Pinky can sing too. So I'm just wondering why they never included her in the group. Because you remember when they were singing at the funeral, she was singing too there. Why did they exclude her from the group? Okay? Because she could be part of the group. She needs the money too. I'm not understanding that, you guys. Or they wanted to be like Bala brothers, so it wouldn't work with the Bala brothers and a sister. Why did they exclude Pinky? You see now Pinky will be making money, and then she will be able to pay for the house too. They need to pay Pinky. Maybe they should make Pinky, because in this episode, Loyiso says, they don't have a road manager. Maybe Pinky should become their road manager, and then they can pay her. Then she will have a pay slip, because It's about I think it sleep for the bond. But yeah, they should involve Pink. I don't understand it, especially because she can sing, you guys. So they go to the place where the event is going to be. They're doing a sound check. I don't want to lie, you guys. It was so nice to see them getting along, seeing them laugh together, smile together. You can see that they really love music, and even if they are angry at each other, but when an opportunity comes for them to sing together, they do that. I like that, you guys. I loved seeing them just laugh, making jokes together and all of that. I feel like I said in the beginning, that Upelo, I keep wanting him to say more because I do feel like he has a lot to contribute, but he doesn't trust himself around his brothers. Sometimes, like, he will start a sentence and not finish what he's trying to say. It's like, I want to hear from you too, because I know you have a lot to say, because I am one of the younger siblings, and I know sometimes you'll be looking at people talk and be like, yes, guys, I do have a solution to this thing that you're talking about, but I'm not going to tell you because you're not going to take me seriously. So I want to hear from Pelo more, you guys, as a younger sibling. So they go, the rehearsals go well, you guys. Listen, I don't know why they don't perform as the Bala brothers, because it just looks like when they come together, everything it's like easy. It looks easy. Well, it looks easy, but and so they do the sound check, and I guess Lois had to be responsible for what they were going to wear, because Ozwai didn't have something to wear. Okay, now you guys, this is the conversation that at some point I feel like I understood what they were talking about, but then I didn't understand what they were talking about. I feel like diary sessions they don't do enough to explain the conversation to us, because like in a scene that we have a conversation, and then you have a diary. A diary is supposed to give you more information about the scene. What are they talking about really? How are they feeling while doing that scene and all of that? And I feel like sometimes their sessions are not so good, or maybe they're not edited. So this conversation, they were just talking after the sound check. They were talking, and they end up talking about. I think Uloyiso was saying, "Okay, guys, I just want to know what we've had gigs before." We've had gigs before, but then we've turned down as Bala brothers. He says in the direct session that Uzwai would say, stop sending me gig requests for Bala brothers, because we no longer perform as Bala brothers. So he says every time he will get a request, he will forward it to Uzwai. Uzwai would say, listen, we no longer perform as Bala brothers. Why are you sending me this? So Lois is trying to find out, guys, but what's different this time? Because this time Uzwai got the gig, and then they are there to perform. But when Uloiso was getting the gigs, sending them to Zwai, Zwai would be like, we no longer perform. So Loiso is like, I just want to understand what is different this time, okay? I also felt like since they were getting along that time, maybe it wasn't the right time to talk about it, but I also had to remember that the cameras are following them, but so they are trying to get scenes besides just the sound check. They're trying to get like serious conversations. Maybe that's why they had that conversation at that time. Even Pelo was feeling like, you know what, maybe this is not the right time to have this conversation. So when they are talking about that, Uloisa is saying they deserve they should be transparent to each other. Like, tell us why you wanted us. Is it because now you need the money? Back then when the gigs were coming and you were saying that you don't want to perform, was it because at the time money was good, now you need the money, now we must come and perform? He was saying they should be transparent with each other. Then he goes on to talking about Zwai's baby. I think Loiso is bothered by the fact that Zwai has a baby and hasn't told them. And every time he's trying to talk about it, Zwai doesn't want to talk about it. So when he's asking about a baby, Zwai doesn't want to answer that question. Then Uzwai goes into saying, listen, you guys, I just want everybody to explain to me what is the meaning of family. I'm like, the meaning of family is telling your family when you are having a baby, and when they ask you about the baby, you tell them about that baby. That is the meaning of family. That's why I'm saying that Uzwai has an idea, like a conversation that he doesn't want to have, he's not going to have. But when it's about someone else, because here he's talking about how Loiso, and now he will be acting like he can't make a decision until Jen talks. And I'm like, that's what happens when you have a wife. You have to talk to your wife before you make a decision. So it's frustrating me, guys. So Then you guys, because it was getting a little bit intense, I guess Upelo ended up telling them that he's back on medication. That's why I'm saying I'm at diary sessions about I'll explain that because I was like, medication for what? You know? But he has a certain condition relating to mental health, and then he went back to taking the medication. And I'm like, huh? There's something that is just not connecting in with story, with conversations and on whatnot, but he revealed that he's taking medication. But we are still yet to know what the medication is for, what was he diagnosed with, and if he's saying I'm back taking medication, why did you stop and all of that. But he says, listen, I was, sonke space. Sometimes it gets to a point where you need medication, sometimes it doesn't. So he says that he was just breaking that thing. I was basically serious and all of that, but also he was wanting to share it so that people can just know. That's why you guys, I'm saying, Upela probably can give us the best storyline ever on this show, but he's holding back, especially when he is with his siblings. I feel like he should just give us more. Now, you guys, after they had a scene where Uzwai was fitting the suit because he was going to wear Loiso's suit and all of that and everything. And then Loiso then left, and then Uzwai, and Opelo were having a conversation. Apparently, you guys, you know that the theme song, okay, I just saw an article on Zimoja that was talking about Upelo was online claiming that Zwei stole his song. And then before I could read the article, it was time for me to watch the episode. So I went and I watched the episode. I haven't read the article. I was thinking, Zwei stole Pelo's song. And they are going to talk about it on this episode. The theme song for the show is Pelo's song. But Pelo was not under the impression or was not informed that the song was going to be a theme song. So when he saw the show and he's like, my song is a theme song, he's like, but who released it? So he never signed anything for the song to be part of the show. It means that Zwei had signed for it. So that was the thing. So apparently when he watched the show and saw the theme song, he sent Zwei a message to say, you are no longer my brother, all of that. Okay, a main message, because he was upset about the fact that Zwei had stolen his song, because he's thinking, if I didn't sign for it, then somebody must have signed for it, and that would be Zwei. I don't know if they did a song together for him to conclude that it would be Zwei that used the song. And also, guys, Zwei is involved in the production, so maybe that's why he made that assumption. So apparently Zwei stole Pelo's song. Okay, that is the issue. So Pelo had sent that message. Now, you guys, this is what I'm saying when I say Zwei doesn't want to talk about anything that involves him, because even here, he's not clarifying. Instead of clarifying to Pelo with, no, I didn't steal your song, this is what happened. Or, yes, I stole your song and the song was there to steal, Instead of doing something like that, but he goes into the message that Upelo sent it. But I'm like, but Upelo wouldn't send you that message if he didn't see his song on TV without him signing for it. So can we address the fact that Pelo's song is on the show without him signing for it? Can we just talk about that first, and then we can talk about the message that Pelo sent as a reaction to you using his song without his permission? So he doesn't want to talk about the fact that the song was stolen, but he wants to talk about the fact that Pelo sent him a mean message. I'm like, so you might as well not be part of the show, because anything that has to do with him, he doesn't want to address it. Okay, listen, if I thought my sister stole my song, I might just say, hey, you are no longer my sister. And also, Pelo was drunk most of the season last season. He doesn't even remember sending that message. I don't remember how I was feeling. But I do know that my song is part of the show, and I'm not happy about it because I never signed for that song. Okay. That's another thing, you guys. Now, Pink, Mama, they're driving to what's Kailisha, Bayolandi Zicha, Angazi Zicha Zan. And so they decided to drive together. And obviously, you guys, like I say, it's hard to watch. Since Gaga, Pink, Mama are becoming very hard for me to watch, because it's the same thing. That's why I say because they need just a few therapy sessions, because they have to get to a point where they can laugh and have fun together, and it's not happening. I can imagine, you guys, and how uncomfortable it is with them living in the same house, because it's almost like they can't just relax, and every time they have to talk about the fact that mama wabashiya every time. So now Jen's not Jen, did I say Jen? Upinki. Did I say Jen? So Upinki, guys, is driving with mama to pick up his itch. Okay, now a Kylie chat somewhere. Now she starts the conversation about her and Jen relationship. Okay, and apparently she has a project that she was doing that she needed to use a child for. She asked Jen. Jen said, absolutely the hell not. I'm sending a message. I read that message, you guys. It said, okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry that I took long to reply to your message and it's been hectic. And then Jen talks about how the child was sick. After the child was sick, it was low ISO and all of that and all of that. That was the first paragraph. The second paragraph, he says that, you know what, I feel like but basically, she said no to giving her a child. She was like, no, after careful consideration, I feel like we are not in the good space with each other for me to allow you to use that. And the fact that ingane has no ear infection, what. But basically, Jen was saying no to the child. Okay. Listen, you guys, there's something in Jen that I recognize. There's a me that I recognize in Jen, because if I'm not feeling you, like I'm giving you my child to go do a campaign with, it's just not gonna happen. Okay. You are going to have to resolve some things with me, and we are going to have to spend some time together and be comfortable with each other. Okay, I will come up with all kinds of excuses for you to not use my child in none of your campaigns. Okay, if me and you are not okay, that's just me. That's why I'm saying I love Jen, because there's something I recognize in Jen. So Jen just says no. Get message. So Upink is bothered because her reaching out to Jen to use umntwana. Well, she says it was her way of reaching out so that they can resolve things, and she feels like she has tried and Jen is not receptive. And also, you guys, there are a lot of things that Pinky said about Jen last season. I think when they watched the show, everybody was like, oh, so you said that about me. So how can you be wanting my child for some campaign, but you said that about me, So now she is upset because umama benophelo bona, they get along with Jen, but they are not helping her to get along with Jen. Guys, I don't know, like, how old is this Pink? Maybe she's going through something like 40 and above. We are going through some changes. Sometimes we feel like life is, and when we feel like our life is, we feel like we want to do this to other people's lives too. I don't know, there's just something like she's just, and guys, I want to understand her, but I'm not understanding her. So now it's like she's bothered by the fact that her mom gets along with Jen, and I'm like, do you know how what do I want to say? Isn't this, guys? Do you know how I say this? It's very unique that Jen gets along with her mother-in-law. That thing doesn't happen. The mother-in-law and the Makoti, they should be like, yeah, wow, they have something special. But Pink is bothered by that. It's almost like she feels like Mama has replaced her with Jen. I think she feels like that. And she also feels like it's her mama's responsibility to fix her relationship with Jen. But Mama is like, listen, I get along with Jen because Jen doesn't tetisa me amacala all the time. Jen doesn't put me in court all the time when I'm with her. I don't like your attitude when you're around me. And even in the car, you guys, as they are talking, it gets heated. That's why I'm saying I can't blame Umaga Pinky for not wanting to spend time with the Pinky because she's always in court. Now, does she deserve to be put in court? Maybe she does, you guys, because obviously there are things that happened during Pinky's childhood that she's not happy about, and maybe it is time for her mama to be put in court. But the thing is, it doesn't nurture their relationship, you know. So the mother just is sitting there in the car looking like she's saying, yo, sifika nini la siyakhona, you know. And I do feel like if she had to choose between spending time with Jen and spending time with Pinky, she probably would go with Jen, and I wouldn't blame her. And Pink also complained to Jen made an appointment for their mother to go. I was like, guys, I want my brother to find a wife that is going to make doctor's appointment for my mama. I'm like, does Jen have a sister? Because I do have a single brother. You know, how happy would I be if Kaya Kunomakot in Jenna, who even arranged for my mother to go to the dog? We don't have to worry about go to Mafanaga, Elafanega is spelled and all of that. The Makot is arranging that. Pinky has a problem with that. I'm like, no, man, something's going on with Pink. Who has a problem with that? Like, I would be happy for Makota to arrange for my mother to go to the hospital and make an appointment for her and take her to the appointment. How do you complain about that? She's like, she should have told us. How does she make an appointment for our mother without telling us that our mother is going to the doctor? I'm like, no, man. Therapy. Pinky needs therapy. Anyway, you guys, that's all that happened this season, okay? Fine. Number one, I am happy that Zoe is going to be the one to buy the house. But I want to see, Uti, how are they going to force the others to pay for the house? And also, I want to see, is Pinky going to contribute to the house? Can we see a statement? Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Tell me what you thought about this episode in the comment section. Like the video before Pumegona. Share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers in Tanda.